Keith. My name's Rick, and I'm the admissions director here at Stonebridge.
Yeah, hi, I'm Keith, and I'm here today because I have a lot of questions about your program.
I'm glad to be able to tell you about it today, and also glad that you're interested in learning more about it. We have a 3-year curriculum that if you enroll and are accepted to the school, that you'll begin this fall, and if you go full-time, we'll finish it in the next 3 years.
Yes, could you explain a little more about the courses that you offer here?
Yes. In the sense, we are a seminary. One of the things that we focus on is preparing you to go and be able to work in a church or other religious institution once you get out of here.
Okay, I've always aspired to set up my own church. Would that be a possibility?
I definitely think that your time at Stonebridge will equip you to learn some things, and one of the nice things about our program here is we will partner you up with someone so that you will get some field education experience that should also help to that very end.
Do you have any specific coursework that relates to the business running, day-to-day running of a church or nonprofit organization?
I'm glad you asked that, because we did a survey recently and found out that that was one of the most needed parts of our curriculum. We found a lot of people were getting out of here and had good theoretical knowledge, but not good business and practical knowledge to do, I think, what you're alluding to. And so we've added that to our curriculum very recently.
Oh, this sounds ideal for me. That's great.
Great. Yeah, one of our goals is to the best of our ability, equip you for success once you get out of here.
Well, that makes sense. You know, my grandmother was a Presbyterian, so it's been a long time goal of mine to study this religion. So everything sounds ideal for me.
Oh, wonderful. I was wondering if you had any specific questions about the application process or the next steps ahead or anything else that I could help you with.
Yes, you had mentioned that it's a 3-year program, and I mistakenly thought it was 2 years. So if you could speak to me for a moment about the cost so that I could check into financial aid.
Right. Well, one of the nice things is that we have pretty good endowments here, and so based on that, our total cost for you, if one question before that, will you be living in student housing while you're here?
I'll be commuting, if that's
Okay.
possible.
Oh, that's perfectly all right. I was going to add that into what the total cost that you could expect that, but since you'll be living nearby and won't need to pay for student housing, your cost would just be the tuition, which is $2,000 a semester, plus your books, and your books average anywhere between $300 to $500 per semester as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's reasonable.
It's not bad, and one of the other things is we have a partnership program as part of our school, so that if you have a church that you're affiliated with who wants to sponsor you, they can pay for part of your tuition, and then what that does, if they sponsor you, they will cover 1/3 of your tuition. We match the other third, and so then you are only responsible for the remaining third overall.
Oh, that's perfect for me. I do work full time, and this program that we're speaking of is a full-time program, I'm assuming. Is there a part-time option available?
You have a choice, and really the options before you are how difficult you want to make the years ahead. For instance, we do offer many of the same classes at night that we offer during the day, and so you can work full time plus continue your full-time education and finish within the 3-year period, but that can make it difficult because of the amount of time between full-time work and full-time education. So we also offer the option for you to take a 3-year curriculum, and we have plans to make that into a 4-year, 5-year, or 6-year curriculum if that makes it easier on you.
Okay, I currently work teaching I currently work at night. I teach at night, so I'm planning to come during the day to daytime classes, and I'll probably start off with part-time classes during the day, if that would be okay, and keep my full-time job at night.
Absolutely, and I think that we can, given that we have flexibility when we offer our courses, I think we can make a plan specifically for you that'll work very well with what you're hoping to do.
I'm very excited to gather all this information. Let me ask you, will I be provided with an interpreter?
We have just this year decided that that's something we need to look into. And so we do not have that available right now, but we've realized that this is a need. And to be honest with you, I'm ashamed to admit that we have not offered that before now, but it is something that we're seeking, and we're actually looking with a couple of organizations locally that we can partner with to provide that for students.
Yes, it's imperative for my success in this program that I would have an interpreter who could work from ASL into English and also from English into ASL.
I appreciate that, and I think that's, I would agree, because for you to get the most out of your education here, that would absolutely be a must. And so we could even, I have two people that have been working on this project, and maybe after we're done, I could introduce you to them, and they could show you the companies that we're working with, and even the people they've made contact with, and perhaps they would like your input into how we proceed.
I'd be happy to provide my insight into locating interpreters to come to Stonebridge. And also I was wondering if a professional note taker is available to me, as it's nearly impossible for me to attend the interpreter and take notes at the same time during a lecture. Will I be provided with a professional note taker?
Right, that's a great question. And one of the things that we actually require of all of our faculty is for them to give to every student a transcript of every lecture they give. And so you will be provided week after week. One of the things that part of your tuition covers a computer that we'll give you. And every semester that begins, every professor will give you a disc of transcripts for every lecture they'll give during the course. So you will actually have on your computer what they will be teaching, so you will have the notes provided in advance for you.
Wow, that's great. That's really a great use of technology. Would I be able to take online courses from home?
We do. We offer what we call it here distance education learning, and that's available for people who even aren't locally available to take our courses, but our local students can take advantage of those. Now, we typically encourage the students to, if you're here locally, oftentimes the interaction that you will get by being in a classroom and being able to ask questions directly to a professor or to other students is invaluable. And so to take advantage of those all that you can, but you are permitted, and I'll give you a sheet afterwards that will have our website, and on there it'll show you the links to our courses for distance education, and you can take advantage of any of those. we offer distance education, which is
Could you repeat that for me?
online courses that actually, the way those courses work is you will see the curriculum, those discs that a professor would typically give to you. You will actually be able to download those offline with a key that you'll be given, and you will also then be given a DVD disc of the actual courses that you will use at your own convenience. And so some of it will be done at your computer and some of it will be online.
Oh, okay, that's very clear. Yes, and if I were to enroll in the program here, is there a thesis required or a comp exam required for graduation?
There's not a thesis that you have to write, but we do require, there are certain proficiency tests that every student must pass before they can actually graduate. And we typically encourage the students to start focusing on those during their final year, and we even give you some things to help you prepare to study for those comprehensive final exams.
Yes, and as a native American Sign Language user, English is my second language, so I am a bit of a slow reader, and I'm wondering, would I be provided extended time on these proficiency exams that you're referring to? Because English is my second language.
Absolutely, because we have many students here, even from foreign countries, who have English as their second language, and we do give extra time because we do understand that that may be necessary.
I really love the flexibility of the program here at Stonebridge that you're describing to me. What's my next logical step?
Well, the next step will be for you to complete your admissions packet application and get that to my office. And at the bottom of that application that you were given, there's an address that you can mail that into. We will process that, and then you will be put into our system, and then once your application is submitted, we'll invite you back and we'll check some references, we'll do a couple of interviews with you, and allow you to ask any further questions at that time as well.
Okay, supposing I am accepted to the program, what would my coursework look like?
I think the very first course that, if there's one that you shouldn't miss, particularly if you're going to be a part-time student, we have something that's called Introduction to Theological Studies. And that sets the groundwork for a lot of everything else that will be following that. And so if there's one course you start with, I'd start with that one.
that sounds great. And then after that, do you have a list of the sequence in which I would take courses that would come after the Intro to Theological Studies?
We do have that, and there's only a few wherein you have to meet certain prerequisites, particularly if you're going to study any of the languages, such as Greek or Hebrew or Aramaic. Those will definitely need to follow sequentially. But beyond that, most of our courses you can take as you would elect to.
Two interests of mine, I really want to learn how to read and write in Greek and also Hebrew. It's definitely something I'm interested in.
It's fascinating. When I attended seminary years ago, I did well at Greek, but I didn't do well at Hebrew, but I enjoyed both of them.
Yes, about 8 years ago, I traveled to Iowa and was involved with a deaf mission there that was working on translations of the Bible into American Sign Language. And there was a man there who was fluent in Greek, and he was able to read Greek, and he led discussions on the comparison between the Greek Bible, the New International Version.
One of the things you'll find if you study either of
the New International Version and also the King James Version of the Bible. And I found this very fascinating, and that kind of planted the seed with me that I would really love to study Greek.
The main languages, Greek or Hebrew here, that when you start opening up your Bible, it'll come alive to you in ways that it never did before. And it's very exciting.
Yes, as a seminary student, would I be expected to use the New International Version of the Bible or the King James Version or some other version?
We actually let our students choose, because even though that they will read differently, it's okay, because each one of them will eventually, once you start studying the original languages, that's what you'll use more than anything else. And so up until then, we let the students bring whatever Bible they want. Right, for the New Testament it's Greek, and for the Old Testament
the Bible was written originally in Greek, isn't that correct?
it's Hebrew.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Keith, I'm very excited that you're interested in Stonebridge, and can tell even by your questions today that should you choose to come here, and if you're accepted, you'll add so much value to the student body here.
Oh, I'm really anticipating getting the process moving.
Great. Perhaps I can take you down and introduce you to some other people then, if you have some time.
Oh, I'd be happy to. That'd be great.
Okay, great. Well, let's go.